For this lesson, we'll be discussing about multiplying decimals up to 2 decimal places by 1 to 2 digit whole numbers. So to begin with, to multiply a decimal numbers by a whole numbers, multiply the numbers from right going to the left as you normally do with whole numbers. Then, place the decimal point in the product from right to left according to the sum of the number of decimal places used in the factors. So for example, we have here multiply 6.5 by 7. Step 1 is you multiply starting from your right going to your left as you normally do with a whole numbers. So as you can see here, this is our equation. So 6.5 multiplied by 7. 7 times 5 is 35. So 5 regroup 3. 7 times 6 is 42 plus 3 is 45. So we have the product for 5, 5. For the step 2, we need to count the total number of decimal places used in the factors. In the first factor, there is one decimal place, this one, while in your second factor, there is no decimal places. So we have here 0. It follows that the product will have a 1 plus 0 is equal to 1 decimal place. So for the step 3, starting from the right, count 1 decimal place going to the left, and that will be the placement of your decimal point. So this is the starting point. So we will count 1 decimal place. So 1. So therefore, we will put here your decimal point. So the final answer for 6.5 times 7 is 45.5. Let's have another example. Evaluate 12.35 times 6. So we multiply 12.35 by 6. So 6 times 5 is 30, regroup 3. 6 times 3 is 18, plus 3 is 21. 6 plus 2 is 12, plus 2 is 14, regroup 1. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 1 is 7. And then we count the number of decimal places. For the first factor, we have 1, 2. There are 2 decimal places. For the second factor, there is no decimal place. So 2 plus 0 is 2. So we need to count from your right 2 decimal places in your answer. So we will count 1, 2. So this is where we will put your decimal point. So the final answer here is 74.10. Next, perform the indicated operation, parenthesis 9.35 plus 15.12 multiplied by 11. So we follow the rule of JAMDAS. We start first with the equation that is inside your parenthesis. Remember that in addition, we need to make sure that the decimal point and the digits are aligned according to their place of value. So it will be like this. 5 plus 2 is 7, 3 plus 1 is 4, and then 9 plus 5 is 14, regroup 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, and then copy your decimal point aligned to the decimal point in your addends. After that, we multiply the sum, which is 24.47, to the factor, which is 11. Let us now multiply. 1 times 7 is 7, 1 times 4 is 4, 1 times 4 is 4, 1 times 2 is 2. Another one, 1 times 7 is 7, 1 times 4 is 4, 1 times 4 is 4, and 1 times 2 is 2. We now have our partial products, so we can now add them together. So bring down 7. 7 plus 4 is 11, regroup 1. 1 plus 4 is 5, plus 4 is 9. 2 plus 4 is 6. Bring down 2. Let us now count the number of decimal places. For the first factor, we have 2. For the second factor, we do not have any decimal place. So 2 plus 0, the total number of decimal places here is 2. So we need to count from your right going to the left 2 decimal places. So 1, 2. So we will put here your decimal point. So the answer or final answer for this problem is 269.17. Next, let us have a problem solving. A car is traveling at a constant speed of 65.8 kilometers per hour. How far, so we're looking for the distance, can it travel after 5 hours? So in order for us to know the distance traveled by the car after 5 hours, we simply multiply 65.8 by 5. So 5 times 8 is 40, regroup 4, 5 times 5 is 25, plus 4 is 29, 5 times 6 is 30, plus 2 is 32. Next, we have one decimal place for the first factor. For the second factor, we do not have any decimal place. So 1 plus 1, that is 1 plus 0, I mean that is 1. So we need to count one decimal place from the right going to the left. So that is here. So the distance covered or traveled by the car in 5 hours is 329 kilometers. Next, find the product of 15.12 multiplied by 21. So 1 times 2 is 2, 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 5 is 5, 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 5 is 10, regroup 1, 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. We now add the partial products, bring down 2, 4 plus 1 is 5, 5 plus 2 is 7, 1 plus 0 is 1, bring down 3. So the number of decimal places for the first factor is 2. For the second factor, we do not have any decimal place. So 2 plus 0 is 2. So we need to move 2 decimal places from the right going to the left. So 1, 2. So this is where we will put our decimal point. So the final answer for this problem is 317.52. So that is our answer. For the next part, the topic is multiplying decimals with factors up to 2 decimal places. So just like the process of multiplying decimal numbers with the whole numbers, in here we use an additional procedure in finding for the location of the decimal point. So let's have the problem evaluate 5.3 multiplied by 2.1. So for the step 1, multiply starting from your right going to the left as you normally do with the whole numbers. So 1 times 3 is 3, 1 times 5 is 5 for the next digit, 2 times 3 is 6, 2 times 5 is 10. Bring down 3, 5 plus 6 is 11, regroup 1, 1 plus 0 is 1, bring down 1. So we have 1,113. But where are we going to put our decimal point? Just like a while ago, we have to count the total number of decimal places used in the factors. The first factor, we have 1 decimal place. This is the first one. For the second factor, we also have 1 decimal place. So 1 plus 1, that is 2. So we need to count from the right going to the left at least 2 decimal places. That is where we will put our decimal point. So that is 1, 2. So the answer here for 5.3 times 2.1 is 11.13. For this next example, we have 3.2 times 2.7. So we begin with the first digit, which is 7. 7 times 2 is 14. Regroup 1. 7 times 3 is 21 plus 1, 22. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. We can now add the partial products. Bring down 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8. We count the number of decimal places. We have 1 here. We have also 1 on the second factor. So 1 plus 1 is 2. So we move the decimal point from the right going to the left 2 times. So 1, 2. So this is where we will put our decimal point. So the answer is 8.64. For the next one, we have perform the indicated operation, parenthesis 2.15 plus 4.02 times 6.1. So following the JEMDAS rule, we always start with the equation inside the parentheses. So since this is addition, make sure that your decimal point and the digits are aligned together. 5 plus 2 is 7, 1 plus 0 is 1, 2 plus 4 is 6, and then copy the decimal point. After that, we can now multiply 6.17 by the factor 6.1. As you can see, the decimal point are not aligned, so it's not necessary for you to align the decimal point in multiplication. So 1 plus 7, 1 times 7 is 7, 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 6 is 6. 6 times 7 is 42, so 2 regroup 4. 6 times 1 is 6 plus 4 is 10. Okay, our regroup 1, 6 times 6 is 36, plus 1 is 37. Then we can now add 7, bring down, 2 plus 1 is 3, 6 plus 0 is 6, bring down 7, bring down 3. There are 2 decimal places here, there is 1 decimal place here, 2 plus 1 is 3. So we move 3 times from the right going to the left to put your decimal point. So this is where we will put our decimal point. So we have 37.637. So that is our answer for this equation. Next, how about if we have a problem solving? If the exchange rate is 1 for every 1 euro, we have 58 pesos and 40 centavos. How much would 25.20 euros amount in pesos? So to do that, we just simply multiply 25.20 euros to 58.40 pesos. So 0, 0, 0, 0. 4 times 0 is 0, 4 times 2 is 8, 4 times 5 is 20, regroup 2, 4 times 2 is 8, plus 2 is 10. 8 times 0 is 0, 8 times 2 is 16, regroup 1, 8 times 5 is 40, plus 1 is 41. 8 times 2 is 16, plus 4 is 20. Next, 5 times 0 is 0, 5 times 2 is 10, regroup 1, 5 times 5 is 25, plus 6 is 26, regroup 2, 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. So we can now add 0, 0, 8, 6, 1, 7, 4, and then 1. Count the number of decimal places. This is 2. This is also 2. So 2 plus 2, that is 4. So we move 4 decimal places from the right going to the left. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is where we will put our decimal point. So for every 25 euro and 25.20 euros, we have 1,471.68 pesos. And for the last one, we have 30.12 times 4.6. So 30.12 times 4.6. 6 times 2 is 12, regroup 1, 6 times 1 is 6, plus 1 is 7, 6 times 0 is 0, 6 times 3 is 18, 4 times 2 is 8, 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 0 is 0, 4 times 3 is 12. So we need to add, bring down 2, 7 plus 8 is 15, regroup 1, 0 plus 1 is 1, plus 4 is 5, 8 plus 0 is 8, 1 plus 2 is 3, bring down 1. There are 2 decimal places here and 1 decimal place here, so 2 plus 1 is 3, so we need to move 3 spaces from right going to the left. So 1, 2, 3. So this is where we will put our decimal point. So the answer here is 138.55